Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. It's your boy Day.
And I'm David, and together we love a forward bang.
What?
We This is Call Me Limbo. Uh, Forward bang, like a hair bang.
Oh, David, I thought you were talking about something about
No,
fun
I
time.
love a forward bang.
I was
Do you
like,
love
what
a
is
forward
full
bang?
bang? Is that like the Edna Bob bang, like
Yeah,
from
kinda.
Incredibles? Hilarious. I,
Yeah.
they have a time and place. Okay, so my random thing. I
Yep.
hate, so speaking of Bob's, so
Mhm.
I do like when Nikki used to have like the what they call it. I thought they called it Chinese bangs. Maybe that's problematic now. I don't know.
What was that when she did her, like, Chun-Li song?
Maybe, like, with the pink wig
God,
and
we're less
the
than a minute
bang.
in and we're already being problematic.
Right, but what I was gonna say is, so my one of my controversial takes, I guess it's a fool for me, is I hate a chin length bob. Like, I need the bob to come under the chin
Uh-huh.
or throw it out. Like, I don't like the ones that come to the cheekbone. It just always looks like a fool. Like, it kinda just gives me eraser, like it's a or like a mushroom. I don't know, I hate it. And so, like, I need the bob has to come even if you do what T-Boz did and you asymmetrically put it under the chin, it has to
Ooh,
go there. If it's at the chin, it's just something don't sit right in my shondo with it, and I hate it.
sure.
I love that there's, like, that bob activation challenge when they're playing, "You can do it with your
Yes.
back." I
Yeah.
love them, but when the bob come under the chin, you gotta wrap under the chin. I hate a chin length bob. I'm sorry, that's a random thing for me. It
I
just
didn't know this about
makes my
you.
butt itch. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I didn't know
It
this.
just never frames faces well to me. It just makes you look old. Give
Okay.
yourself right under the chin bob, and then you
Sure.
still don't have to shake it.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mentioned this because friend of the podcast and friend of Phoebe Award winner, Councilwoman Chantel Lewis, has a very cute
Yes,
bob.
and the
Now,
bob,
there's
she
like
put the bob
and
was
it
like
goes
it
underneath
was
the chin.
going down. That's right.
Yep, it's like it's the right length. And she has a great forward bang.
Yes.
And what's really funny, I give her a bad time about this every time I see her, that she posted a picture to Instagram, this was weeks ago, with another Councilwoman Flora Alvidrez of District 7. And it was a picture of just the two of them, and she titled it the Denver Bang Caucus.
I like that.
So funny. And so I messaged her. I was like, "Can I be a member of the Bang Caucus?" I was like, "I have bangs." I was like, "I have bangs."
I don't think I've
Like,
ever
I was
seen you with your bangs. Wait,
Yeah,
this is
I
so
have
good.
bangs, but I was like, I usually just, like, put my hair up to the side.
You
So,
have the Bieber bang? I didn't know this.
beaver
Justin
bang.
Bieber, remember when Justin used to have the bang?
Oh, yes, a beaver.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever seen this.
yeah. Yeah.
This is a look.
So this is
Bob.
an exclusive.
Yeah, the people listen, I'm low key fanning for the Bob.
Oh, yeah, thank
I mean
you.
for the
Thank
B, the
for the
bang.
for the beaver bangs.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yeah, so I did. I asked Councilwoman Lewis, I said, "Can I be in the Bang Caucus?" And she said, "Absolutely." And so yesterday, well, no, it wasn't yesterday. It was this week on Tuesday, April 7th, I went and spoke to the City Council Community Planning and Housing Committee.
Whoop, whoop.
And when Councilwoman Lewis showed up, I said, "I'm here for the Bang Caucus meeting." And so I can't let it go. You know, when I find one thing that I think is funny,
You
I
obsessed.
just fixate on it and I just can't let it go. And so, yeah, so she's like, "Well, great, you're in the right spot." So
Now I'm
I was
jealous you didn't
presenting.
wear the bang for the meeting.
I
Like, now
should
I'm
have next
upset.
time. Next
Yes,
time. I
next
know there will be other opportunities. I know there will be other Bang Caucus meetings.
time.
So, but yeah, no, she invited me, whether or not that was the right choice. It was a choice. She invited me to co-present with her to the Community Planning and Housing Committee about some work that we did last summer about on the Quebec corridor, which is like this area of the city. It's an area of the neighborhood that I live in. It's a few miles from my house, but it's technically part of my neighborhood. It's where the old airport used to be before it moved out way outside the city. And just like talking about like economic opportunities now in this like area because some of the hotels are like shutting down, just because like there aren't as many people coming to visit this part of the neighborhood. So they're converting some of them into housing. They're converting this old Holiday Inn into housing, into apartments. That's a relatively recent development. And then some of the old hotels as well were converted into shelters. And so like this part of the city has a really high concentration of shelters for people who are experiencing homelessness. And so just like talking about our work to provide support to the folks who are living there. So it was really, really fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I actually know how to answer some of these questions. And it was really fun. And I was like, I also noticed, I don't know if you've also noticed this day, but I was like, I noticed this. I was like, I've heard that like in times of like rising fascism, which is kind of like right now, no better time but the present. And that like people tend to like dull their like the colors of like what they wear. Like a lot of times there's a lot of grays, there's a lot of browns, there's a lot of blacks, like there's like it's just kind of just well yeah, and so I was like I was in a bright pink shirt and I was like I am never going to let people dull, and it's also only one of 3 button-down shirts that I own. Collared shirts, not even just button-down shirts,
Oh,
collared shirts
wow.
that I even own at this point. So, but yeah, no, it was really, really fun. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But yeah, I was like, I love a forward bang, and I love the forward bang on Councilwoman Lewis.
This is the most I've
That's my hot
ever
take.
dissected conversation about the forward bang, but I love it. And yes, please check out, I'm sure he will put it in the notes. Check out David's presentation at the Colorado City Council. I watched it. It was really good. I was so proud. So yes, please watch it.
Thank you. Yes, I start at the 1 hour and 10-minute mark. So
It's only
if you
about
don't want
20
to watch
minutes.
the whole thing, you can just watch the main event. They don't
The-
always save the best for last, but they did save the best for last
It's fire.
in this in this situation. So, but yeah, I was like, I've been learning a lot about white culture in the last couple of.
Mm. But you grew up in Gearing, Nebraska. How did you not
I
already
did
know these?
a pinnacle of white culture.
Really?
Dare I say the epicenter of
Yeah. Yeah. Once in a row.
no
Yeah.
words. The epicenter. Yes, and it's been because I was like, I've been learning through the content that we as a podcast have been posting to different social media
Oh,
platforms. So one was from a friend of the podcast, previous guest, friend of Phoebe Award winner, Case Study QB,
yeah.
who, yes, we love
Hi,
Case.
Case. Love you.
Hi, Case. Yes, we love Case. He had posted on YouTube a couple of weeks ago about the episode that we did about, hi, my name is Joe. I have a wife and 3 kids, and I work
Yeah.
in a button factory. He goes, I have never heard of that. He was like, it must be a white people thing. And I was like, is working overtime at the button factory and not telling your boss no white culture? It might be. It might be.
I think the last time that was happening to Black people, we fought a whole war about it. So maybe
Right.
we're tired of that. That's
Right.
possible.
So rightfully so. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. So yeah. And then the other one, the video that you posted online on Instagram, it's on TikTok too, but the video about the skid marks, which is
Uh,
doing incredibly well, that we
thank
talked
you
about
all.
last week in
Yes.
detail. Yes. A lot of engagement on that.
And
And I
welcome to
was like,
new listeners. So many of you all have been listening
so
to the show
many.
since then.
Oh my, so many, so
Yeah.
many. I was like, we've had more downloads in one single day in like the last 4 days each day than we had in months,
Yeah.
like entire months when we started this thing. So
Thank you.
yeah, welcome. Thank you. And when you were explaining last week the video of people at the gym with skid marks in their underwear, I didn't have a particular visual in my mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, that's gross." And then when you posted the video, it just made sense. They looked like they would all have skid marks in their underwear. And they were all white men. And so it was just so funny. And I was just like, oh my God. Because I was like, I was raised. It I want to be like, not all white people.
You should have defended your people. There you go.
There's no defending them. They can defend themselves. This is not a hill I'm willing to die on for my people. So, but it was just really funny. The comments were really funny. Like one person was saying like, this is why women will always choose the bear. Another person was like, this made me really thankful that I'm a lesbian. Another person had said like, this is how I know sexuality is not a choice, because like I am attracted to men. And I was like,
yeah. I think I saw
I'm
one that said, "This
sorry.
has been my 13th reason," and that took me out. Like, I'm like, yes, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just really funny. I was like, there is no defending. I can't defend the white people here. I can't. It's not all of them. I was raised with a washcloth, Day. I was raised with a washcloth. I had used a washcloth my entire life. And I did not realize that evidently, again, I shouldn't be surprised, because when we were over in the UK a
Yes.
couple of years ago together, there was not a washcloth or a loofah to be found. Nowhere. And so I was like, that's where many of people of my skin complexion came from, the land of colonization, the
And color and
queendom. And it's just,
disease.
yeah, right. Yes, that was another person. Like, I could see how this is why white people like spread disease when they got here, because they weren't
Oh my
wiping
Lord.
their ass. If you want a good laugh, go click on the video. I will put a link to it in the show notes. Go click on the link and just read the comments
They don't
alone.
disappoint.
They're so funny. Yeah. So yeah, I can't defend them. And I also was like, I'm an outlier here, because I use a loofah. I prefer a loofah, but I replace it every month.
Yeah, that's just supposed. If you also use a loofah, a washcloth, or ensure that between your cheeks and actually your whole body, including your feet, are washed, please feel free to hop under the comments in that video and let people know that it is not all white men, that there are
Yes.
also men who learned how to clean themselves. You might find a date. It looks like the dating pool looks desperate based on our comment section. It feels like this is too common an occurrence. So
Yes. I was about to say slide into our DMs, but I was like, the people
yuck.
who would, yuck. Yeah, I'm not interested in. So
Because I shouldn't even have to question it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you know what? Actually, oh my God, you made me realize
Tell me.
what I wanted to talk about, because
Great.
people were very fascinated by this. So I wanted to talk about another It's a Fool moment. And this is actually one of my worst dating experiences. Speaking of
Okay.
bad hygiene. So I remember I was talking to this guy for a while, and we finally was like, we'll spend the weekend together. It'll be fun. David. So first and foremost, this man showed up and like I was kind of like we took a hug and I was like,
Uh-oh.
No, 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 I'm crazy. I wasn't crazy. He was musty. And I was really confused by him being musty, because I was like, it's only about 10 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Oh
what have you
no.
done? What have you been up to? So we go through the whole day. I'm trying to be nice about it, because it's one of them ones. It's like you really only get it if you're up close, not like it's permeating. That's another story for another day when I was on that date. But
Okay.
this is what really got me. So it is time for bed. And I'm like, hey, you should go shower. That already seemed to like rock their world that I was suggesting showering at night. So I was already like, But then this is what got me. Do you know that that man went to shower and then put back on the same clothes he had?
No. 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 That is a war crime. That is a war crime. No.
David, I was so perplexed. And what made it bad is that by the time that I had finished showering to notice this, they were in the bed with this
Oh no.
on. And I
Oh
just
no.
sat there
This is
like,
like your worst fear.
listen, anybody that knows me, I do not believe in getting in the bed with your outside clothes. Like, that is like
Or
red flags, red flags.
not even with just your outside clothes, but not having showered.
Yes, not having showered. Yes, there's levels to this. So the fact
Yes.
that he had committed, first of all, you had I had to almost coerce you to shower, but then you got back in the bed with the same clothes you had on all day that were already funky.
Oh. No.
I just remember when they left, I was like, "No, baby,
Yeah, did you have to like fumigate the house? Call like
you will watch." I just couldn't. I think I had to reflect on like, how is this possible? Like, how do you have such an impression? Like, you don't even care enough. Like, you really put back on the same shirt. Like, you don't smell it.
Yeah.
This is and actually the second worst date ever. Actually, I'll say that's his first worst because the second worst, it happened, but it was in public. So it was a little bit
Oh.
different because they showed up to the date smelling like, hmm, I don't
Yeah.
I think that a pig farm would be insulted if I call it. That's what that smelled like. Like, it was the type of must where it's like, "Oh, you didn't just like" you can tell like, "Oh, this is fresh must." Like, maybe he was rushing outside and, like, got
Sure.
there, and it was an accident. This was the type of must that I was like, "You haven't there hasn't been a meeting with soap and water under your arms since 6th grade." And I just didn't understand how and then they were wearing, like, one of those, like, tribal like these type of shirts that hang a little loose, like hippie style. And so like as I got close, I met the smell before I met them. And I just couldn't believe that you would show up. Honestly, I would have preferred you just cancel the date. Just be like, hey, I'm running like something's happening or I'm running late. I need to anything. That it smelled so bad. And then to add insult to injury. So then we're at the date and we were waiting for the table. So like they put us side by side, thought I
Okay.
was gonna die. Thought I was gonna die because I was just sitting here like, "Lord, I can't breathe. I can't breathe."
Yeah.
Eventually, the table gets ready and we're sitting across from each other, but the whole time I kept thinking like, "You didn't smell this? Like, you didn't even try to hide it under cologne?" Like and the worst part, beautiful man. Beautiful man.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's my thing. That's my big pet peeve, y'all. Stop showing up to dates looking a mess. Stop showing up to dates smelling bad. Brush your
Yeah.
teeth, baby.
Yes.
Put on some nice
Yes.
clothes.
Put
Do
on some
something. Like, I
deodorant.
genuinely was dumbfounded at that, and I was just like, "If you smell like this going out on a
Clean
date,
clothes. Yeah.
clean clothes, wash said clothes." But if you're
Yes.
showing up
Not
to this on a
having
date,
yes, that you have not worn one time before.
it literally felt like that man had been out on a camping trip and showed up to see me after 4 days
Oh.
in the wilderness, and I just couldn't
Oh.
believe it, and I was just sitting here like, "So are we all just pretending we don't smell this?"
Oh.
'Cause I hate pretending something don't stink. That's another thing with me.
No. Yeah.
When a place stinks and everyone's pretending that it doesn't, oh, that'll piss me off even more. Because 'cause I'm like, "Listen, I'm not crazy."
No.
Yeah,
No. I don't know how people don't smell it. That's
pizza,
yeah, that's yeah.
pizza.
I was like, I've always been like an everyday showerer, except for when I was like maybe starting puberty. But I was like, I don't know.
You didn't know
Every
better
kid that
yet.
I know didn't wanna
Yeah.
shower at that age. But ever since like, I don't know, at least the last like 25 years, I have probably longer. I have been an everyday showerer. Every day, at least once a day.
At
Now I am generally a twice a day shower. I at
same.
least.
Yeah, 'cause I work
Yeah,
out
and
a lot.
I know that Denver is in stage 1 drought conditions right now, which is not we need water for the data centers. We need water for the data centers.
Hey,
Who's gonna think of the data centers, Dave?
I think they
And
would prefer you shower over being stanky, so
me too, but I was like, I'll tell you what, becoming a nighttime showerer really, and you were the one that taught me this.
Really?
Becoming a nighttime shower, which I've probably been for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, has really, well, probably since I like started working, like when I started working in retail, when I had
Mm,
like a more physical job and like after work, I'd come home and shower. So that would have been, God, that would have been like 14 years ago when I started like retail. I was like, well, that, oh,
scandalous.
and yeah, I was like, I'll tell you what, my quality of life really improved when I became a nighttime shower. Getting into bed clean and like with like clean sheets, like now I just can't even fathom
Yeah.
getting into like clean bed sheets.
Your skin, like, your
Dirty. It's
skin
ugh.
clear. Yeah. Imagine how much better your skin has been, like, everything because you take like, you're on your bed pillows and stuff for, like, 8 hours on a
Yeah.
good night. Imagine just laying in filth, like, no,
No.
no.
No. I love that this has turned into like the hygiene podcast.
Listen, maybe we need to bring on some dermatologists because people are really out here. They're not learning, and I don't know what to tell them. Maybe we need a proctologist so they can talk about how to properly clean your butt because
Sure.
I didn't know it was an epidemic like this, David. I didn't. I really
No.
didn't.
No. No. It's ugh. It's ugh. Yeah, it's so gross. Yeah. Like I said earlier, war crimes. War crimes.
It was
But
against my nose.
it what?
It was against my nose. It definitely was a war crime against my
Sure.
nose.
An assault. An
Literally.
assault. Yes. But speaking of assaults and war crimes, it sounds like we might be approaching a draft. It sounds like we could potentially be
Mm.
approaching a draft. The Hill recently reported, I'll put a link to this article in the show notes, that automatic draft registration for 18 to 25-year-olds will begin in December of this year of
Merry
2020.
Christmas.
Yeah. So evidently it was part of the fiscal year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act. So this was passed at the end of 2025, signed into law by President Trump. And just because I was curious, this bill, this National Defense Authorization Act, this is the funding bill for the Department of Defense. And so I was just curious because usually for like defense, I'm using that term loosely, for military, the military budget, it's usually very bipartisan.
Oh, yeah.
Very bipartisan. And I looked up, I was like, okay, what was the vote split? So the House voted yes, 312 to 112 no's. And the Senate voted 77 yeses to 20 no's. So that means that there were a lot of Democrats who voted. So I looked this up too. So in the House, who voted yes? 115 Democrats, 197 Republicans, and then who voted no? 94 Democrats and 18 Republicans. So then I also wanted to look up just like the Colorado delegation. I was like, okay, how did they vote? So Jason Crow, who's a veteran, who should know better because he's seen combat, voted yes. But he's also like a big receiver of APAC money. So I also shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert voted no,
Wow.
which I was like, yeah. She's also like on some like foreign relations things, she's very much aligned with like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's like right. I would consider her like being correct on some of these like foreign
On this
relations
vote.
things.
Yes.
Yes. Broken clock is right twice a day.
Absolutely.
Diana DeGette voted no. Brittany Pedersen voted no. Joe Neguse voted no. And then the other Republicans voted yes, I believe. I was also curious. AOC voted no and Ilhan Omar voted no. So I was like happy to hear that. But we can get people to automatically be registered to join the selective service. Do you remember? Did you have to go register
I
for the
thought
selective service?
so.
I remember. I
I thought
remember
it was a
this.
part of the like, I thought silly foolishly, I kinda almost was like, "We didn't have to do it automatically," and I was like, "No, I think it's when we
Nope.
got our driver's license or
Oh,
something." I
okay.
don't know. I don't even remember, to be honest.
Really?
I just knew it was
I
something I had to do.
remember. I remember going down to the post office in Gearing because that was like one of the only like federal buildings. And because it was such a small town, we went down to the post office and I registered when I turned 18. And I remember thinking then, I'm so thankful that I'm gay, so I won't have to serve. I wasn't out yet, but I was so thankful that I was gay that I realized at that point,
Yes.
I'm gay and I can get out of this. I can get out of this. So I might come out a couple years before I had maybe planned or thought through how I was going to do it. But yes. But I remember going down to the courthouse, but I was like, we can do this, but we can't do automatic voter registration.
Thank you.
Come on. Come
Thank you.
on. So yeah, I'm just curious if you have any thoughts.
Oh, it's a no for me. So like it's not gonna change the out. I'm not going. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all can email Jesus or you can tell email Moses, tell him to forward it to Peter and see if they can get it to Jesus. But that's the
Mhm.
only way I'm going. Jesus paid it all, as the Christian nationalists like to say. And if he paid it, he also paid me going to the war. I can't do it. He already died so that we could live again. How could I live going to a draft? I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell y'all. Much love and respect to the people in the military. Somebody's got to do it. It's just not me. I've already, you have to know yourself. I know me. That's not, they don't want me over there. Okay. Cause something happened. I'll be like, you know what? I didn't see nothing. I don't know what happened. I don't think I'm cut out for that. And two, most importantly, and on some serious stuff,
Yeah,
I do not believe in fighting and killing people just because other people tell me to with no concrete proof that these people are an imminent threat. Like, I just don't agree. Like, if I were drafted to go into this nonsense happening right now, I would be, I would be overly upset because what we are doing is illegal. They're war crimes, and we are killing little children and killing people who are civilians and doing what is it? My brain. It's like we are doing collective punishment,
yeah.
all for the sake of us wanting to just on a whim do what we want and lying and saying that they were an imminent threat and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, we are creating a culture where these people will want to come up and attack us and harm us. I don't want any parts of that. Therefore, it's a no for me. The call me draft. If he go, the man in the office right now was a draft dodger,
Correct.
and I ain't talking about baseball. So at the end of the day, it's a no for me. I don't. I'm. Some people argue, oh well, if you have a draft where everybody mandates it, then it forces even the congressional people and their families to have to put their kids up to be at risk. And while I understand the impulse of like they should have to be subjected to these things too, I also have empathy for the fact that these are also kids. Like they're paying for the sins of their fathers. Like I don't. I always tell people the most helpful that I feel like I can be when it comes to war is to advocate and fight for getting people in office or being a person in office that votes no on doing it on the war itself, not just like I don't know why we think it's cool and cuddly to like just send people off to war to die. It's like, no, I want to stop putting them in positions where they are forced to defend the indefensible. Like we've already lost service people in the midst of this nonsense. And that to me is not something you should take lightly. Therefore, I want to work hard to ensure that unless it's absolutely necessary, these people are not put in harm's way. And when it is deemed absolutely necessary, that they are equipped to do the things that they need to do to stay safe and to be very strategic and targeted with the plans that they enact. And so I don't know. I'm not surprised that this is what we can do as a country when we could be forced. It lets me know the hypocrisy of, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't help people with this, we can't help that. It's all nonsense because like you said, voter registration could be super easy.
Healthcare.
Healthcare, like it just shows the hypocrisy. There's always room for war. There's always an exception for violence and destruction. And it's never there for anything that helps the people. So and even the people being injured and killed right now, they're gonna come back long lost and destitute. And guess what? They're gonna get take forever to get them care. They're not gonna prioritize their mental health, physical health. And what would it have all been for? Nothing. Did we not learn
Well, it
that
would
the
have been for
20 years in the
Israel
Middle
and
East?
for pedophiles, but
Yeah, but it's like, did we not learn that in the 20 years we spent over in the Middle East? All these people, thousands of service people died. Thousands and thousands, thousands of
and
people in the Middle
millions
East.
of
Millions in the
Iraqis
Middle
and
East.
Afghanis like
Yes.
Afghanis.
For what? So, yeah, it's enough for me, dog.
Yeah, it's a no from me too. And as you were talking too, I was thinking about, I was like, when you were saying, like, if we ever need to, respond with, like, violence or military action, I I really maybe this is naive or maybe it's, like, aspirational, but I was like, I think that we can get away. I think that we can respond, and I think we can solve all of our problems without violence. I really, really do. I really think that that's possible because I was like, because as friend of the podcast, friend of Phoebe Award winner, Caitlin says it works because I believe that it works. And I was like, if we create a society where we believe that we can solve these diplomacy issues through just talking instead of through violence, we can do it. It's literally is like we can do it. I was like, my buddy Kim Jong Un
Oh
over
gosh.
in North Korea.
This is why
He,
we stay on the list.
I want to be Dennis Rodman when he went over there and visited and got like a really amazing treatment. I want to be North Korea's next Dennis Rodman. Like I always say, Day, I want to be North Korea's next Dennis Rodman. But he met with the president of South Korea recently,
Yes.
and they like crossed over the demilitarized like zone, the DMZ as they call it. Like they each kind of like walked into one another's sort of like territory. And I was like, I don't know a ton about the Korean War. That's never stopped me from talking about things that I don't really know about. But I do know that like the United States had a role to play in this because of course we did. It was like it was a Korea. It was like it's like a unified country from my understanding, and then the United States got involved and divided it into two. And so like I kind of love watching the world right now re like there's like a new world order for lack of a better term, and like just reorganize around a lot of times like geographic
Yeah.
ways that make more sense. Like it doesn't really make sense that like these places in very, very far away lands would be aligned with the United States. Like give Guam back, give Alaska back, give Hawaii back, give Puerto Rico back, give Samoa back. Like these are like the only reason we have them is because of the military, so that we can go colonize the world. Give Iraqis their land back. Give Palestinians their land back. Like it's just I don't understand what's so hard about that.
I mean, that's a tough one. And you know what? Maybe we'll bring a war specialist on because I was like, I do hear that oftentimes there are a few wars that people argue were justified, like World War II in response to like Pearl Harbor. And then you have some actually argue the Korean War defending the South from the invasion from the North. That's not my area of expertise. I would argue the Civil War, especially given that, they were trying to actually keep us together. I would actually love an episode about war because it's not an area of my personal expertise, but I would love to have someone. So if you're listening and you just so
Yeah,
happen to be a specialist in historical wartime,
yeah.
reach
And
out.
you use a washcloth.
You use a washcloth because even on this pod, even through the screen, we can smell it.
We can tell.
Yes, but no, I do agree with you that in a perfect world we would not have. I think too often we use violence as the go-to. And like right now, I think we're using might makes right as like temper tantrums. And I think it's foolish because at the end of the day, we have to realize, especially as our worlds become more interconnected, we only get one world we're living on. So if we don't figure out how to live harmoniously, we're doomed. And as a species, we will no longer exist. Like we were playing around like, oh, we might nuke this or nuke that. I'm like, baby, it don't take but so many nukes that you would drop 10 of them and all of us are done. You've
Yep.
completely reshifted the entire globe, and we're all done. So, like, the fact that nukes and granted, as always, a reminder, the US is the only country that actually used a nuke in an aggressive format against another country, which was abhorrent.
Twice.
Twice, not once, but twice. But that said, that is just something that should never even be on the tables anymore, in my opinion. Like, why would you risk that? We saw the damage and destruction for generations to come, but we don't get it. And when people get out there with their power trips, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably a great place to wrap up. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I do. Maybe I'll
You
save that
do.
for next week. I ranted enough about musty dates, so I'll save it for next week. I remembered a great conversation, so you have to come back next week about another thing that irks me, and it's about adult entertainment videos. So we're gonna talk about it. If you can,
Oh,
that'd be
great. Yes. I will make a note of this
thank you,
right
thank
now.
you.
Production meeting.
Yes,
You're
yes,
getting exclusive access to behind the curtain.
yes.
So, yeah. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, I was like, why am I taking a note right now? When I listen back to this, then I can take the note. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the platform where you listen. Get in touch with us at Call Me Limbo Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. You can go watch us now on YouTube.
Yes.
So go over to YouTube, search Call Me Limbo Podcast.
The
Go
people seem to
subscribe.
love the video format, so thank you.
Yeah, people really seem to like the video format over there. So I was like, wow, okay. It was the first video that we posted there. And I was like, very well received.
Yeah.
So happy
And
to hear
David
that.
has
So
great shirts, so you're getting to see one of
thank
his
you.
great shirts where I won't read it out loud for the legal, but you should check out the video version to see what his
Well,
shirt says.
yeah. I yeah, thank you.
Not advice,
I
simply a shirt.
yes, I was telling Councilwoman Lewis at the committee meeting this week that I was like, I said, I don't want to say it, but I was like, I would be really well liked in jail. I know I would. And I'd get 3 meals a day. I'd get to work out. I'd be surrounded by hot men. So yeah, Phoebe's
Y'all,
the only,
please
like I
now
always say,
slide in
the
his
only thing
DMs.
keeping me out.
Don't let David go down the route of having to get him an inmate. So go ahead and please just see, this
Yeah.
is what we
Well,
do. We're gonna have a dating episode. You know what? We should have an
we've done
episode where
some
men no,
before.
we
Go
should
back.
have where men come and they speed date live on the show. I would love that for us to get like 3 candidates where I get to interview them. But
Okay.
it's like
Is it
dating but
for
live.
me?
They'll all be for you, so they'll have their cameras
Oh
off.
no.
And the whole
Okay.
time, all they could do is talk to you. I'll ask questions. It'll be like the dating show, and then you pick a person based on their personality and see. Because David loves dating shows, y'all. I am learning to like them.
Love a
So I
dating
think
show.
it'd be a great experiment. If you are interested in being a contestant, slide into my DMs on Instagram at Dai_TYME. I'm
Or
doing it for
at
him
Call Me
live.
Limbo Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads.
No, because then
Because
they'll know you'll know what he looks like. Then you'll know what he
I
looks
want
like.
the filter. Unit D, my type A, my famously, as you know, I have extreme type A-ness. Yeah, I would want to say I would want to contribute to
Would I
at least
lead you wrong,
3.
friend?
You wouldn't.
I
You
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
I know his
You've
type,
known me
so
long
I
enough.
I got you, friend.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Well, look at me. I'm turning over a new chapter. I'm giving up control and power. Here we go. But
This is
you can go
great.
subscribe to our Substack as well. callmelimbopod.substack.com. Go become a Patreon member as well. Patreon.com/callmelimbopod. 3 levels to provide your support, get early access to the episodes, the full video episodes, monthly Wandering Thoughts episodes from me, probably some other stuff too at some point in the future. But we can't do this without your financial support. So please go to patreon.com/callmelimbopod. Do not, well, you can. We'll still take it, but you can save money. You can save 30% of your purchase by going to the website and by going to the Patreon app on the Apple
Yes.
App Store, because they take 30% of the cut because of alleged monopoly power. So yeah. Or you can send one-time contributions on Venmo and CashApp if you don't want the commitment. We want the contribution. You don't want the commitment.
That's right.
And Dave, it's like I always say, I knew I had made it when someone online called me soft hands. This was a long time
I'm
ago.
scared, but go ahead. You have to tell us before we go.
This was a long time ago, but it was like, it made me laugh when all they said was soft hands. And I was like, I've heard that that can be used as like an insult for someone who's never like worked a hard day of labor in their life.
Why would I wanna do that?
What's funny is they didn't know that I started mowing lawns at like 12 years old, working in a fireworks stand at 6 years old. So the fact that I have like repaired my hands, they look a little dry right now, but they still are probably soft. But I stick them in, I get lotion on them and I put
Yeah.
socks in. Yeah.
Listen, I love my listen, I'm not trying. I don't aspire to hard
No,
manual labor. I
who
appreciate the
wants
people who
rough
do it.
hands?
I don't. So,
Not me. Not me.
sounds like a win to me. Meow.
Thank you. I think so too. That's why I thought, that's why I was like, I've made it.
Okay.
I've made it.
Well, on that note, everybody, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for all our new listeners. We hope you are enjoying the
Yes.
nonsense. Feel free to message us. Tell us what you would like to talk us to talk about. Send us videos to react to. We love that. But if not, we still thank you for listening. And remember, when they go low,
We put our hair into a forward bang.
so call me
Look
Luna.
out.
Bye.
Goodbye.